Hello, I'm going to be sharing with you how to survive or potentially enjoy your time in quarantine. I'm actually on day 7, so I have lots of information and tips to share with you, things to do in advance and things what you can do when you're actually here. As I said, I'm on day 7. How did I find it? Well, very high level, much better than I expected. Do have a bit of claustrophobia, so I was quite worried. First couple of days, it was kind of okay because of the novelty. Third day was the hardest. I got very fidgety, spent most of the time walking around the room. Day 4 onwards was fine because I thought, well, I'm over halfway through now, so the rest of the time will go really quick. And it has, because I'm on day 7. So let me now show you what you get when you arrive at the hotel. I'm staying at the Dorsett Wanchai, which does have a great racecourse view and windows you can open. But whatever hotel you're staying at, it's probably similar, but always worth checking with the hotel yourself. So let me start off by showing you what you get when you arrive. Start off with the thermometer. Now the thermometer you actually get given at the airport, along with a form where you record your temperature twice a day, once in the morning and once in the afternoon. Now the airport is a little daunting, but you don't need to worry. As long as you have your documents, it's very well organised with lots of people to show you where to go. And even help you on the bus. Well, they sanitize your luggage before you even get on the bus, but make sure you get on the right bus for your hotel. When you arrive in the hotel, of course, you'll check in, and then you'll be given 7 rapid test kits. You need to take an RAT test once a day in your room and record it on a sheet of paper. Now, for both the temperature check and the RAT checks, they say they could call you and ask you for photos, etc., to prove you've done it. They haven't done that to me, but please do it though, because of course you might be one of the ones they pick to check up on. Now, the Dorsett Wanchai is pretty green and environmentally friendly, but I expect most hotels would be. So you get a plate and a bowl that you can wash and reuse, and cutlery in that cute little container there. So that means when you're having Deliveroo or when you're having your hotel food, quarantine food, you don't need a plastic knife and fork or any of those things that aren't great for the environment. Now, you get a lot of bottles of water, but you also have an alternative. Once you've used the bottles of water in the room, you can either order more or you can get a Brita water filter on free hire. I'll show you that in a moment and talk to you more about that. You also get dishwashing liquid and cloths and Brillo pads, etc., so you can keep your plates and knives and forks and anything else you like clean. And a bag full of towels and bin liners. So the towels are additional, you get them in the bathroom anyway, but you get extra clean ones as well. You could also get additional towels or additional bed linen by putting it in the black bag, putting the used towels or bed linen in the black bag, and they will then swap them for fresh. So you can have as many fresh towels and linen as you like. Rubbish goes in the white bin bag. You tie these bags up with the special ties they provide you, and you must put it outside your room at 2 p.m. If not, they say they'll fine you. Now, I must admit, I put it out a few minutes before too, because I'm worried I'm going to forget, and I haven't been fined so far, touch wood. Also surprised that they want everybody to put their bins out at the same time. That doesn't seem like a very COVID-safe practice. Now, the most frequent question I'm getting in quarantine is, how's the food? Well, here you've got 2 examples. The one on the right is breakfast with some dumplings and noodles, and the example on the left was lunch from today. Today's an Asian day. The Dorset seem to alternate between Western and Asian food, but you don't have any choice. You have to have what you're given. Now, I'm sure they must cater for special diets like vegetarian, gluten-free, but if you're not on a special diet, you have a list, you have a menu, and you pretty much take what's given to you. Now, most of which I've eaten, so it's not too bad. There's an occasional meal where I've just looked at it and thought, nope, I'm not going to eat that. I'm going to get Deliveroo. So moving on to coffee now. Now, in the room, they provide you with a kettle and Nescafe and Coffee Mate. I'm a bit of a coffee snob, so I took advantage of the free espresso rental. Well, they say free, but then they charge you 300 Hong Kong dollars for a sleeve of capsules. So in reality, it's not free, and definitely make sure you bring your own capsules or get a friend to drop them off at the hotel for you, because 300 Hong Kong dollars for 10 capsules is a lot of money. But I do like my Nespresso, and if you're a coffee snob like me and like a good cup of coffee in the morning, check with your hotel, see if an espresso is either in the room or whether you can hire one. Now, I mentioned earlier about being green and environmentally friendly. Instead of drinking copious bottles of water, there's the possibility of hiring for free a Brita water filter from the hotel. Comes with an unused filter that you can pop in, so very clean, and you even get a jug and a big cup with it. And you see the jug there, I've put ginger and lemon in it because I think that makes water taste really good. Which brings us on to the next part of this video, which is what should you bring? See, most of the things I recommend to bring are health orientated, because it would be very easy to be in quarantine for a week and just eat and watch Netflix. Not that I'm saying anything against those two things. In fact, if that's what you need to get yourself through quarantine, absolutely do it. But what I found is by having lots of fruit, saves me snacking on less healthy stuff. But the most useful things I've had is these very easy to pack, small and portable pieces of exercise equipment. So starting off with this is 5 bands connected by 2 handles, and you even have the different weights. So one band is actually 22.8 kilo or 50 pounds, so that is a lot of resistance. So you take the bands on and off the handle, depending on how heavy or how resistant you want to be, and you can do so many things with these. So you can do biceps, you can do push-ups, squats, and using the handle just there, you can do triceps and back exercises. The handle goes on a door, and I have actually been able to use that on my bathroom door, but it does need to be a proper door, and of course you can't really open your front door to put that on. So the only opportunity really is on a bathroom door, but worked for me. Now that was a very good price from My Protein. I'll put a link in the details in case you want to order it right very quickly as well. If you don't want to go to that expense, there's various resistance bands you can get from Decathlon at a good price, or whatever your local sports retailer is. That's one for resistance. I use that when I'm doing push-ups. And that's one that I used for adductor exercises with my leg. And this one here is what I do a side crab walk for. I'm also going to put a link into the notes for the exercise routine I did with these things. So you can see that if you want. So if you don't bring these things or pack them, if you're traveling a lot, like I had 7 weeks of travel before I came here. So I actually asked a friend to keep them for me and then bring them to me in a bag on day 1 of the quarantine. And they left it on the desk outside and it was brought up to me. The other option is, of course, to use other online retailers or your hotel's own service. So the Dorsett hotels have Dorsett Mart. That's where I got the water filter from, and the Nespresso. They also have various health equipment. They have bottles of wine, food, snacks. The other alternative, of course, is Food Panda. Panda Mart has been pretty good. I've been able to get all my bits and pieces from there. So you can hire various exercise equipment, but of course you are paying a premium when you go through the hotel. So better to have your own, and then of course you could use it in future. These things aren't just useful for quarantine, but useful for travel in general too. A big way to survive or even enjoy quarantine is, of course, watch your favourite shows on Netflix or your favourite streaming service. That's slightly complicated at the Dorsett and maybe other hotels as well, because this TV is designed only to receive the terrestrial channels and I think some cable channels as well, but certainly you don't get movies or any Netflix on here. But what you can do, if you ask the hotel, they'll send you a YouTube video of how to take the TV out. You use those 2 green things, pull it out and then unhook it, which was kind of scary, but worked okay. And then in the side there, you pop your Fire Stick, which is the one I use, or whatever you use to get your Netflix. And there you go, you will have Netflix by selecting whichever HDMI port you plugged it in and using, of course, your Netflix controller. So don't forget something to watch Netflix if your hotel doesn't offer it anyway. I'm sure that's something that would be easy to check. Let's move on to bedtime. Spent a lot of time in this bed. They give you slippers and a bathrobe. I found the bed quite comfy. I did not find the pillows particularly comfy because they sink really, really easy. I'm not used to that, didn't find it comfy at all. So what I would recommend is you get someone to drop you off a pillow if you end up staying here. But I think the objective is just make yourself as comfy as possible. I'm wearing my own slippers at the moment that I bought. I don't normally wear a bathrobe. But if you do, you have one there. Or if you like to wear a bathrobe and there isn't one given to you with a hotel room, again, get a friend to drop it off or treat yourself to a new one online. So another tip is, if you've been traveling for as long as I have and have a very big 30-kilo suitcase, use your hand luggage to pack the stuff that you need for your quarantine. Because to be honest, you don't need much. You certainly don't need to dress up because no one's going to see you. So I've been in a shorts and t-shirt all week. So just pack the things that you need in your hand luggage, and that'll save messing around and trying to find stuff in your big suitcase. And whilst I'm here, I'll show you this, that the hotel have for purifying the air. It's been on all the time. Actually, the blue light's been a bit annoying once I've been trying to sleep because I do like darkness, but I'm sure it's very good at cleaning the air. Okay, let me show you around the room. So you'll see there is air conditioning, pretty essential for Hong Kong, although it's not very easy to use. I've had it on 30 degrees and actually finding it's still quite cool on that. So obviously it's not really 30 degrees, so I have to play around with that a bit. Here's the room itself. I think there's actually plenty of space for a week. I have an air purifier, obviously there's room for my suitcases. That's the bit where I've been exercising. Quite surprised about the adjoining door. Hopefully they'll seal that off. If not, you know, air particles could come in the gaps. Haven't had any noise though from my neighbours, they've been pretty good. Big wardrobe, you have a fridge to keep your drinks cold, and there's the bed. Desk for you to do your work. Got my laptop. I've had to plug it into an extension though because I ran out of plugs with the kettle, the Nespresso and the TV. Need a lot of plugs. And oh, there's the key that you need to ask reception to give you so you can open the windows, which I think is the biggest selling point of staying at this hotel. And you have to sign all sorts of things to say you won't, don't know, dangle out the window, and you must leave the aircon on whilst the windows are open, which isn't very environmentally friendly, but I'm sure there's very good COVID reasons for that. Very drizzly day in Hong Kong today, which is a shame because most of the time it's been sunny. Great view of the racetrack, although there hasn't been any races on, but I've seen lots of football matches and other sports going on in there. And also I can keep an eye on how the traffic is going in and out of Hong Kong. And actually most of the time it's chock-a-block going into Hong Kong and never very busy coming out. So I'm just wondering whether people just go in and never come out. Anyway, I hope you found this video helpful. Please subscribe and like, because I'll be giving some other travel videos very shortly with lots of tips and useful ideas.